When you ask someone to meet a simple request, it's not about the action itself. It's about the respect and trust they show you. If that's compromised, the connection weakens. In life, it's the little things that matter most. A simple request, if ignored, reveals much about how much someone values your needs and feelings. Sometimes it's the most basic request that tests the strength of our relationships. If respect and effort aren't present in these moments, trust begins to fade. When a simple request goes unheeded, it often speaks volumes about where you stand in someone's priorities. A lack of effort can tarnish even the strongest of connections. It's not always about the complexity of the task. A simple request can reflect a person's genuine commitment to understanding, respecting, and valuing you. There's something powerful about mutual respect that shows up in the smallest of requests. If you can't even meet the simplest of needs, what does that say about the bigger picture? When it comes to relationships, it's not the grand gestures that matter most. Sometimes it's simply showing up for someone when they ask for help in even the smallest ways. We often think of love and connection in terms of big moments. But real intimacy is tested in the quiet, small moments when simple requests go unanswered. Ignoring a simple request is more than a failure to follow through. It's a reflection of how we perceive the other person's worth and importance in our lives. The foundation of any strong relationship is built on mutual respect. If something as simple as a request is disregarded, the entire foundation begins to crack. When someone fails to honor even the simplest of requests, it isn't just about the task at hand. It's about the larger issue of feeling seen and heard in the relationship. It's not about perfection. It's about the willingness to listen and act when someone needs something from you, no matter how small or simple. Every relationship has its challenges, but how you respond to even the simplest requests reveals the depth of your commitment and respect for the other person. If we can't honor each other's simple requests, then we're missing the deeper connection that makes any relationship worth having. A simple request may seem insignificant, but it carries the weight of someone's trust. If it's ignored, that trust begins to erode. Sometimes the smallest requests reveal the biggest gaps in understanding. It's not about the task. It's about the failure to recognize the importance behind it. There's a profound difference between listening to a request and choosing to ignore it. One speaks of respect, while the other speaks of disregard. It's easy to dismiss small requests, but when you do, you're dismissing the value of the relationship itself. Every need, big or small, deserves to be met. Relationships thrive on attentiveness, and even the smallest request can show how much you care. Ignoring these moments is the first step toward disconnect. A simple request is more than just a task, it's a gesture of trust. If we can't honor that trust, how can we expect anything deeper to last? The way you respond to small requests defines how you show up for the people in your life. Ignoring them often leads to bigger problems down the line. We often overlook how simple requests shape our relationships. In the end, it's those moments of attention that create the most meaningful bonds. When a request is dismissed, it's not just the action that's missing, it's the acknowledgement of the other person's feelings and needs. If you can't follow through on a simple request, it doesn't just affect that moment. It signals a larger issue in your relationship. Sometimes, a small request is the universe's way of testing your attentiveness and willingness to connect. Failing the test can reveal cracks in your foundation. It's not always the big decisions that define a relationship. It's how we show up for each other in the everyday moments of asking and giving. When you fail to honor even the simplest request, you risk eroding the very fabric of the connection you've worked so hard to build. True connection is built on mutual understanding, and that understanding is often demonstrated in how we respond to the simplest of requests. There's nothing more hurtful than realizing that something so simple as a request was too much to ask for. It shows a lack of care that goes deeper than the surface. The act of honoring even the smallest request is an act of love. It's a demonstration that you are committed to seeing and valuing the other person. It's not about grand gestures or constant sacrifices. It's the small, consistent acts of respect that show how much you value the person on the other side. Respect isn't just about what you say. It's about how you show up when someone makes a simple request. It's in the little things that love truly shows. The simplest requests often carry the deepest meaning. If you can't fulfill them, you're signaling that something is missing in your relationship. In the rush of daily life, we often neglect the simple things that make a relationship strong. A simple request, when ignored, can speak louder than any grand gesture. A simple request isn't just a task to be completed, it's a chance to demonstrate how deeply you care about the other person's well-being. When someone asks for something simple, it's a sign that they trust you to meet their needs. Ignoring that trust can slowly chip away at your connection. Every request, no matter how simple, is an opportunity to strengthen the bond between two people. Failing to respond to these moments can create distance. Small acts of consideration and respect go a long way. It's in those moments of saying yes to a simple request that the foundation of trust is built. Simple requests often reveal how much we truly care. When they're ignored, it's a sign that something deeper is missing in the relationship. The smallest requests carry the heaviest weight. When they're disregarded, it's not just about the task. It's about the trust and care that's been overlooked. Ignoring a simple request is like telling the other person that their needs aren't important. It can do more damage than you realize in the long run. When we fail to honor the small requests of others, we fail to show up for them in the ways that matter most. Respect is often built in these moments. It's easy to ignore a simple request. It's harder to face the consequences of ignoring someone's feelings and the trust they've placed in you. Sometimes it's the small things that make all the difference. A simple request, when respected, can deepen trust and bring people closer. It's not just the request that's important, it's the way we respond to it. In relationships, how we handle the little things is what ultimately defines our connections. True respect isn't about grand gestures. It's about consistently showing up in the small moments when someone makes a simple request. If you can't honor a small request, it raises questions about how much you're willing to invest in the relationship itself. It's easy to dismiss a simple request, but what you're really dismissing is the other person's need for respect and attention. Every simple request is an opportunity to show how much you care. Failing to respond to it is often a sign that you're not fully present in the relationship. A simple request may seem trivial, but it's a chance to prove that you see the other person's needs and that you're willing to act on them. When we fail to respond to simple requests, it often reflects a deeper issue in the relationship, one that needs to be addressed before it grows too large. Respect isn't just about words, it's about action. A simple request is an opportunity to demonstrate how much you value the other person's feelings. Small requests are the foundation upon which larger connections are built. Failing to meet them can lead to the slow unraveling of a relationship. Ignoring a small request is like ignoring a small piece of the relationship. Over time, those ignored moments add up to create a distance that's hard to bridge. When you can't fulfill a simple request, it says more about your willingness to connect than anything else. Relationships are built on those small, consistent acts of care. The simple act of fulfilling a request isn't just about the task itself. It's about showing that you're present and invested in the other person's needs. Relationships thrive on mutual respect, and sometimes that respect is tested in the smallest of moments when a simple request is made. A simple request can be a mirror, reflecting the depth of your care and commitment. Failing to honor it is a sign that something deeper is missing. In every relationship, the small requests are often the most telling. They reveal how much we're willing to show up for each other, even in the simplest ways. If you can't honor the simplest request, it doesn't just affect that moment. It signals that there may be a larger issue in the relationship that needs attention.